We are back with a very special edition of the Due Process League. This is the Fall Major Edition. I'm Mr. Donut. I am one of your staff and casters, and I am with Zombie Bacon. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. We're here in the morning. It's a little early for us over here at DPL, but you know what? We're
Mm-hmm.
here and we're gaming anyway.
Yep. This is a mistake to schedule it this time.
But
But
either way, we have a
early
bunch
morning
of
drinking
exciting
aside,
games.
this is
Yeah,
amazing.
it's gonna be amazing. We're gonna have a bunch of exciting games today. We're finishing up the bracket side, and then next week we're gonna be coming back with the finals, which is gonna be a very fun and exciting
Mm-hmm.
bracket to watch. Now, today we have a lot of powerhouses going up against each other. I know one game that everyone is going to want to be keeping their eye on is going to be the final deciding factor of depth versus global breakout, which I think will be a very close game today.
Yeah, this is. I think we're doing Death versus Global Breakout.
No, we're going to
Yeah,
be watching.
we're
I
going to be
think Nemesis
watching.
versus Gnomes,
There
but
we
I
go.
know that in terms of predictions, from the predictions that I've seen of everyone trying to get our fantastic money donut, the depth versus global breakout has been a real game changer. It's where most people seem to deviate in their
Yeah,
predictions. So I think
you know,
that will be the deciding factor for a lot of those people wanting to make that money.
and a lot of players, if you look at the predictions actually, and look at the kind of trends, they've kind of already been knocked out, you know? And for those who don't know, we have a little prediction game going on where if you're able to predict the bracket 100% correctly all the way through, you get me and zombies $150. And so far, we have had a decent amount of people been knocked out. They predicted Pogfish to lose to Rise, and then Rise lost to Pogfish, and Gnomes
Surprising,
beat
actually.
Rise, and so there's a lot of different changes, and I think today we're really going to see the deviation of the people who know their chops and who kind of maybe also got a bit lucky, but to the rest, so to say, as this Dev versus the Global Breakout game on the other side of the bracket is a banger. But we're watching the Gnomes versus Nemesis match, and Zombie, break it down for me. How is this match gonna go?
Well, the way this match I am guessing is going to go, and I think everyone knows what I'm going to say. I think Nemesis is going to come out on top, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be a good Nemesis fan if I didn't say that, but Gnomes has looked very, very strong lately. Gnomes is definitely one of the probably better teams right now that we have in playing in the major. Um, Whether or not they can take Nemesis is that's a big question that is very much up in the air because Nemesis is obviously still the top team. You know, season two and season three champions. Definitely coming out on top in a lot of things. But really, the top three right now are Depth, Global Breakout, Nemesis. So it's more of a fighting for that fourth spot. Who's the contender there? And Gnomes, I
Mm-hmm.
think, has a really good opportunity to take that. And of course, Nemesis has looked a little wounded lately.
Yeah.
Not sort of in peak performance, if you will. But beyond that, we have great players on Gnomes. There's Jetford, not so much in the great player category, but really, looking at Axie and Index and Louis,
Mm-hmm.
I think those are very solid players. Axie pretty much a traditional carry for gnomes. Nog has also been on the team for a long
Nog's
time.
amazing. Yeah, Nog's
Nog
definitely
is
shown up.
good. I haven't seen them play lately. I have not seen them on lately. Um, Probably just because I don't have them on my friends list. But I know Axie's been playing the game, and Louis has been playing the game a lot. Louis is one of those mythical players who has reached 2,000 games already. Actually, he's actually at
in
2,500
the
games.
in the contention with great players like Adaxi, uh, who else? I was gonna flame someone else, but no one else I know who has 2,000 games.
Yep,
Control.
control. Yep.
Yeah, great players like them. But enough joking around. I mean, if we look at this Nemesis game versus Gnomes, Nemesis, you know, their peak performance was literally being unstoppable, like
Hmm.
not dropping a game at all, untouchable. But now we see Nemesis as kind of this like you can definitely take rounds off them, you can take a map off them even, but you still have to try a lot. When they're not
Yeah.
peak performance, it's still worrying because they have the best aimers in this game by far. And
Oh,
you know,
for
you
sure.
combine people with like a murder helping them out in the coaching role. You combine people like Josh, Roadrunner, and even people like Plepto have such a great mind for the game. Then you just combine well placed FPS knowledge in Mace and Death. You know, it's almost unstoppable to
For
kind of
sure.
see on paper at least.
Well, and I think even beyond on paper, to keep in mind something we don't normally let teams do, but had to be an exception had to be made yesterday. Nemesis actually, I think, played both their games yesterday as a 4v5 and won both of them.
Yeah,
Um,
they yeah, it was the Pogfish match. They played as a 4v5 and they won.
yes, Pogfish did manage to take 4 rounds off of Nemesis, but again, that's 4 rounds off of a 4v5 Nemesis, which is a little different.
So, I mean, if, as we kind of look at it through this sense of the means, I mean, I think with 5 players, you know, with the full lineup we see that Nemesis is going to have, this is going to be kind of more of a wash. You know, as much as I love all the people on Gnomes, as much as I really do want to see a competitive game, it is a very tough ask coming out of the Gnomes side, as we do see Gnomes, they have a lot of the well-placed experience. You know, they have some of the highest game
Hmm.
counts in the league, if not the highest game count in the league. But you have to look at this also through the just in terms of what you can't really gain through experience, you know. And I know that sounds dumb, and I know it's like talent is something something whatever like this, but I mean we're looking at this in a sense for that for gnomes to win, we need to see amazing teamwork, and then we need to see I think a decent map rotation for them.
Well, and also what Gnomes excels at as a team, and I think that's just really pushed by the culture of the team a lot, is very much these sort of fast and what some would consider ratty plays that don't often work against more coordinated teams like Nemesis. I believe, if I remember correctly, talking to them in the past week or so, Jetford is actually going to be filling their sniper role. And while Jet is a competent sniper, most certainly by no means bad at the role. Um, Going up against Death on Nemesis, who is probably top 3 snipers in the league. I hesitate to say top
Hmm.
1 just because there's Billboard in that mix.
Yeah,
But
you have to deal with, and then also so many hybrid snipers too, like Josh Kazo. So
exactly, and so it's kind of hard when you are going up against a team that literally has the best snipers in the league on their roster. So I I want to see some confidence coming out from Jet today on on like the mop and the saber. I'm a little hesitant to think that that actually might not be very synergistic for the play style that they would have the upper hand in. Um, I would actually kind of prefer to see on some of these maybe Kill House and C Store maps just straight up one shotgun, 4 APs, no saber on
oh
storefront
yeah.
kind of thing. Just
Hmm.
because in terms of gnomes, that seems to work a lot better for them. Um, of course, something we do see on Nemesis every once in a while. Depending on what kind of take it is, you won't always see the saber come out, but it's it's hard to say whether or not Gnomes has really the skills to take it on certain maps. I don't think that they're going to be winning a lot of domes or factories against Nemesis just because those are maps that is actually, again, in my opinion, more dangerous to do the rat stuff on, more dangerous to really push these advantages when you're going up against a team that is as slow and methodical at times as Nemesis. Um, Particularly with the
Yeah.
flash control that they tend to exhibit, which is, in my opinion, still the best in the game.
And I mean, we're looking at, you know, utility hasn't been changed drastically, but and the meta really hasn't shifted in terms of the last 2 weeks. But I think something that has shifted and that has had a large impact is the map rotation. The map designers have gotten a bit funky in this situation. You know, they've decided to
Funky is a way to put
throw
it, yes.
some spanners into the mix, and it's caused, you know, a lot of like thought on is this game in terms of all right, do we have good maps where we can kind of just steamroll, or is it more like, all right, we're going to have to change our play style completely? Because sometimes Nemesis just gets those three attacker sided maps, and then they three attacker sided maps, and it's game over. As a defender, you can't really do much of anything because they just have the best attacking side in the game. And so I'm wondering, I'm going to ask you this, is that in terms of Nemesis versus Gnomes, how much does maps play into this, into each team's victory?
Well, I think it might be actually kind of an unpopular opinion, but I think maps play probably the biggest role out of any of it.
Hmm.
Just because I think Nemesis is better at planning, and I think
Yeah, and I
Nemesis
mean,
is better at playing tempo. And at a lot of the maps we've seen, particularly the funky ones, they are tempo derivative maps. You need to be able to control that tempo, and that's where I think a lot of
hmm.
teams falter. Particularly if we're looking at it in contrast to Gnomes, Gnomes know how to go fast. So, like for this mapping, for example, Lawless Zulu, great C store map, very pretty much standard from what we would expect. We do have a fridge line that we're going to see Gnomes really want to protect around, double barbing that, getting both of those entries in, and then also throwing a barb over an office, it looks like. But that's basically going to be entirely ruined by the Nemesis plan here. Looking like going to wallbang in through Shed into Teller might actually get them an early kill, depending on how Gnomes plays this, because sometimes Gnomes likes to go a little cheesy. They might actually be looking for that peek out, which Nemesis is already prepared for. And these barbs and fridges, you basically just have to flash them. You don't need to get rid of them or anything. And might be some miscommunication, or it looks like Louis is going to be spawning in late to grab that barb, still deciding on
Hmm.
what he needs. Really smart plan, actually, we see some of these players do, is not grabbing a
Yeah.
primary to delay that time to give them a little more to grab their utility.
Yeah, and I mean, we're looking at this now as they start to run in, you see the four APs, one shotgun, each player has five flashes. They're taking this eco, they're taking to see if they can get this early economy advantage in a map that they might not be so confident in. As we see Rotor start rushing into arcade, already shooting the shotgun door, opening up and making this kind of pressure already put on players. As he runs in, he flashes out. He's just aggression nonstop. His corners get checked. Ronan gets one with the shotgun and freezer, but Death is able to be traded out through that molly from Louis. So we're in an even situation right now. It's a 4v4, and it's looking a bit tough. Index is right now moving around, seeing what he can do with the neck, but the bomb is being defused. We see Plebdo, Brand1, each get one of their own, but Brand1 is able to clutch it up. Right now we have Index alone with the knack being pushed on by itself, and Plebdo is able to achieve that kill, making this an almost perfect round. Well, if Death didn't get killed by that molly. And we see Nemesis go one up in the opener of this series.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's the kind of aggressive play. I don't think Gnomes gave themselves enough room to work with. I was really disappointed to actually see no barb in that storage, particularly because they were defending it so heavily. As we saw, a
Mm-hmm.
single flash over those storage boxes, and that angle is just not yours. It lets Road get in your face with that DL, which is honestly one of the scariest things possible if you've ever experienced that.
Yeah, the speed and aggression that you saw there, like the Molotov didn't slow them down. After that Molly killed Death, most teams, they would kind of back off. They were like, all right, let's, see what we can do. But no, they kept the aggression going, and they kind of just kept the pressure going. And ever since from the wood go, that round started, pressure was being put on Gnomes to back off, to back off, to back off, and it caused their doom.
Yep, and also now they have lost to KRU. I'm unsure of the ammo
Uh-oh.
count in that, but they had. I believe I did see Nemesis pick up that KRU, which is in their hands is probably, I would say, scarier than an auto shotty in anyone else's. The KRU,
Hmm.
particularly with that brace fire, um, just not fun. But now we're getting into a dome map here, Tide Sphere. This is a map that has actually been in rotation for a little while. Um, it's one of my personal favorite dome maps just because of the beach push here is so much fun. Not really particularly for any sort of competitive reason, besides the fact that what we've seen the map developers do a lot of times now is, if I'm going to point out on beach, these sort of barricades, the barbed wire barricades that you can't jump over. So instead of being able to actually take that right side of beach, you have to funnel through that piece of cover they've given you and basically directly into some of the line sights of or line of sights of some of those defenders and can easily be paused with mollies and things like that. Um, so if played correctly and they have to go green, or if they send anybody green, which generally teams do send one person green, as we do see the meta play on this map is taking that southern red door directly into obs and just out. Um, Basically what we see every team doing. Um, because we see so many teams doing that, I'm actually not a fan of the barb here on the bridge from Gnomes. Um, we do see them preparing for a really spread out style of play, which just isn't Nemesis. I don't like the two members in jungle. I understand why they have that stuff there and why they have people there, but I don't think the rotates are going to be really that useful for them. They really, I think, need to focus more on the obs hold. Index taking the mop here, actually not going on jet forward. Expecting a power play. We see the flare go out early, and Nemesis looking to steamroll through them again, setting 2 beach and 3 through that red door. Going with the meta-defining plays right now.
Definitely. I think these windows are going to play a large role here, as we're kind of looking at the as how much power, and we already see them going in. We see Death Mace each getting one, but Roadrunner gets killed early. We already see the Obs hold being pushed in. The person playing in Beach is basically useless, as many players start to run into Flashbangs and run into Pit and just start to die. Asai's basically flashed to hell and back. But he's able to get
Ooh.
Mace. Now we see that nade go out, and Index is on his own. He does have the mop, and he does ring out a shot, but it doesn't matter in the end, with Death getting 3 kills total and Mace getting 2.
Again, look at Death there, steamrolling with the triple kill with that KR. I mean, they were just gone at that point. And now
Yeah.
it's gonna be much scarier. Carter's got the mop now, and on attack that's even worse. Um, but again,
I'm wondering how many
look at the
shots it had.
aggression.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure, but look at that aggression. You don't need to. They brought the frag, didn't use the frag for the barb. You can flash to that barb in observations. Nog was not even ready to take that angle again. And by the time he was, they were already through, and he was dead. Jetford trying to do something there in base, really very admiral, like admirable, very good try, but just not making anything happen.
Yeah, we're looking at this, that these two maps you could say are pretty kind of like attack focused. The Sea Store not so much, but the Dome definitely so. And so I'm looking to see if this third map, as we kind of jump into it, has the ability to allow Gnomes to kind of set up more, take the individual fights. And I'm pretty sure Nemesis knows that. They don't want Gnomes to take these fights, one on one or two on two or two on one, because then you kind of have a lot of chip damage in, you're not really playing aggressively, catching people off their guard. And going to Praetorian Paladin, I'm really wondering to see how is Gnomes able to defend this?
I think this will be even harder for Gnomes to defend because, as we see, Nemesis has double charge, and for this particular map, double charge is going to be fatal. You take lockers immediately, you have that button, and then you automatically have access to club. Um, because essentially, on a map like this, you don't really need to control lockers. You just need to get in it and hit the button. That's literally the only thing you need to do. We see the preemptive nade being marked out there, which is really good, particularly for that fast take. If you're doing a 2-3 split here, you do the nade as you blow the door because you're expecting a barb to be in front of that door. I think Nemesis is making the smarter barb call. I don't like the barb on the left side just because it's like, yeah, you can wallbang that, but why? Because they know you can wallbang that, they're not gonna go there. You always take that right pathway, for the reason that you have wallbang protection from the vault right here, and you're instead of taking wallbangs from 2 angles, you take it from basically only 2, and office is an easy hold. Club, you flash in, and if you get the barb open, or index gets zapped by the UAV
Uh,
inside.
oh, shoot. Well,
Oh, I guess index spawned on top of the map.
huh. Well, I mean, going into this, I don't know if we're going to see if we can get a pause or a respawn, but we see Jed kind of running to pick up his items, but he's already aware that you know, the blast might go through. As Nemesis start to stack up, 2 on lockers, and maybe now 3. And kind of this eerie silence goes over. No, the blast goes out. We see a lot of aggression being stifled with the early Molotovs. Louis with the auto shot, he's sitting in this corner. He's able to make this a
Close.
lot more interesting. You know, Plebdo, Brandwan, they start to run up. The flash goes out, and it doesn't matter, as he just immediately kills. Plebdo kills the auto shot, and Brandwan gets this other pick. You know, with Death, Jet, trading shots. And Brandwan shoots his own teammate, maybe out of love, maybe out of just spite, but it's a tough one now, as Jet dies. I was going to say he gets one, but no. He just gets killed.
Oh,
Instantly
Jet's not going
through the
there.
mop, and this is a tough ask as Nemesis go 3-0 up on the lead.
Oh, and they're playing TDM right now. Oh, Mace whiffs the shot, actually hits Death, and then gets the PK kill. And looks like Brandwan's a little scared, actually, not wanting to enter the building yet. Looks like he's manning up, gonna take it now. Who can win? Mace whiffs, Brandwan's coming. And there goes Mace. Brandwan, obviously the superior player on Nemesis right now. I feel very bad for Louis there. That auto shot he played just did not pan out for him at all. That's rough.
Yeah, that's definitely a rough ask, but I mean, we're looking at this, you know, in a sense of like they were down 4 because Nick spawning in the roof, but I mean, if you also just look at the match itself, you know, you see this early aggression in Plebdo kind of just steamrolling through flashes. He's not waiting for the flashes to blow. He's able to just get in and get the kills and continue that aggression with the teammates behind him. He knows that the teammates behind him are going to be able to follow up and not shoot him in the back like we just saw. And it worked out, you know? It put Jet into a 3v1 immediately, and then you had to have the issue where, all right, I'm in this, like, we're down a player. Oh, now we're down 2. Oh, wait, we're down, I'm the only one left, and you're startled, and then you just die. So this is a very, I would say, predictable set of maps, but I mean, it's going to definitely be interesting to see how Gnomes are able to take it out on attack.
Now, okay, we see a very similar setup, but there's one major difference between Nemesis and Gnomes here. Gnomes had a third barb in bathroom for some reason, which again I expressed I was not a fan of after the round. Look where it is on Nemesis, that storage barb. Because yes, they do want to hold this storage. The storage is very good to hold. However, you need that barb there to be able to hold it effectively, because not only you're giving yourself space, but it lets you play an angle that they might have to wait for, and then you will have that information. So in my opinion, this is the best barb setup for this map. I'm expecting probably just a regular save round here from Nemesis as we get into it. I'm expecting basically Gruber's, Tubbs, being a C-store, probably 1 leg rose.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we're going to see, I really hope we see a 4 AP 1 DL from Gnomes. I don't see the point in taking a Saber on this map, particularly because you have to drop in storefront. But yeah, I don't see Gnomes taking it here unless they just get very, very aggressive. We see, I think Nemesis is actually setting up for an early peak. Roadrunner with that Legros Index taking the Saber, that's risky. Although he's probably going to swing this angle first.
Yeah, we see the early peak go out, and I mean, they're aware of it. I think they've seen, you know, just the movement and the aggression, and as they start to go to the peak, but nothing's there. They do see the shock and residue, the shell being left, so they know that that door's open. So there could be kind of change in pace, but the early kind of spread out from Nemesis favors, I would say, them on this storefront play. But Plebdo gets tagged early. He's backed off. You know, the early picking damage and kind of makes this a different story. Brandwan, as they go in, you know, they start to
No
get flashed,
flashes.
but the flashes do nothing. You know, we said see one kind of blast through, but doesn't do much. And the Gnomes start to go in. Plebdo, Brandwan are gonna have to hold this with the Garubras, and the flash goes out. They do kind of get tagged, and they're able to take down 2, Louis is. With that, it's a 3v5. The Gnomes on the upper foot as they kind of start to regather themselves, but that doesn't matter as Louis
Oh
gets
man,
one on Mace, and then we see Asai get the other player. So we have Roadrunner is alone. He takes out his knack and
there we go.
he take out his pistol and he just starts spamming away, having a little toy, and that ends up with him dying to his other
Hmm.
teammate. So Gnome's taking the round in, I would say, pretty convincing fashion. Not as
Yeah.
fast as Nemesis, but definitely
Uh,
showing their strengths.
I would argue in the convincing fashion. I think that really came down to some bungled plays there from Nemesis. Plebdo and Brandwan should have been able to kill Louis there. They were kind of inside of each other. They missed that. Mace did the run out of bathroom a little early, and no gnome was close to him. We did see Death there get the kill onto Nog, but then was quickly traded back. Um, I just think that Louis kill, that Louis double kill, was really the opening factor there, and then just made Nemesis throw away the round, which is what you do, but still really solid round for a C-store defense. Taking two
Hmm.
attackers with you is by no means a bad thing.
Oh, most definitely. And I mean, we're looking at this as kind of, all right, that was some really well placed play, and now let's see if they can do it again. So as we kind of go in
Well,
to this dome, do you think they can? The beach and the ops push was pretty powerful, but
it's not that it's powerful. It's just that's really the only thing to do. Um, Beach and Obs is the meta. We already see Nemesis playing for it. I would argue that it's less about what they're going to do, and it looks like Gnomes is going to get a little creative with it. Actually, maybe using their double charge here, or maybe a single charge. Definitely talking about bringing out that wall we see on that northern side of pit, breaching in that from base. Might even grab power then. I'm actually not a fan of power on this map just because bomb sites in pit and pit I don't personally believe
it's
has a
very
lot
lit
of,
up.
yeah, it's very lit up, doesn't derive you a lot of value from that power play. Now, if we were in jungle, we'd be having a different discussion. But we see Nemesis very much prepared for that straight up obs push, those barbs. I think what is going to be interesting here is how they are going to play in pit. Now we do see another barb coming out on the bridge, but notice where it is in comparison to where Gnomes was. Their barb is
Hmm.
very close. They're going to be playing it, and actually they're moving it off bridge. Might be discussing if even to bring it here. No one's claimed that one yet. But if you play it back, because where you actually want to play is from that ruins portion, in the back there. You want to play close to pit. And as we see, they do put that barb by that green door. We do see the wall charge coming out. Oh, this will
This
be
wall
interesting.
charge can change a lot if they're able to get it down, but
I think
that's
they'll
the
be able
issue.
to
They're
get it
committing
down
so
because,
much to the space.
yeah, but look how heavy they're playing obs. Brandwan actually kind of in a dangerous position there in pit. The only problem with taking pit
Hmm.
is you have an even tighter choke than you do coming in from a place like obs right now. Just that you have that single block square that you have to run on. We do see the mollies come out on beach as Gnomes is getting ready to try and take this.
Yeah, as they start to go out, we see Plebdo with Mop taking this early aggression on too. Because the door kicks it down. The Plebdo takes the shot, and he is able to miss all of them.
He gets some
Index with the
damage on
saber,
index,
kind of he can does oh he must
just a
have
little
gone
bit.
through the thing just a little bit, not as much as a mob shot should be, but as the wall charge kind of gets start to peek around, they see them, and it's pretty obvious now that Nemesis knows the plan is they've probably seen the amount of players coming through this beach side. As they start to run out, we do see Mace is waiting. They sees the wall charge. He sees what's going on, and they're starting to set up. Plebdo taking back, but the power goes out, making this a very difficult situation. And this smoke shuts down Plebdo's sightline, making him way less impactful at this moment. As you see Death start to kind of prep his molly, the players kind of start to swarm around these two things. But no, the wall charge goes out. It forces Death back, and now Death is in this situation where he needs to start getting kills. But Louis is able to push through the observation play. He's able to push through, and the weak point of Nemesis' defense and make this a much more easier round for Gnomes. I mean, as the molly goes out, the flash just heads out. As Louis drops in, he tries to get the kill, but Assassin kind of steals it from him. And but Nemesis are able to get two, making this much more even than it should be. As Gnomes starts to peek around and nearly gets shot with the mob, as Jet is able to even it up a bit more onto the Gnome side. Index and Jet in a 2v1 versus Plebdo, who has the mob. Plebdo not on bomb side, but is rotating around, see if he can use the wall to his advantage as bomb starts to be defused. As we start to peek around, Index knows where he's coming from. He knows what's going on, and the bomb is just going to be diffused. And Plebdo is going to see if he can save the mob into the next round and make that kill house much more likely.
Solid round. Louis there, definitely the MVP, opening up so much space by taking that obs. Mace, unfortunately, not able to get any damage on Louis there. Louis with a huge double kill. Taking obs there is really what won that. Because it forced Road off of the much safer angle. He had to play that close to the stairs then, where he had less cover and not such a primo angle onto the barb that he wanted to play off of. I think Nemesis definitely reacted in the correct way, just actually surprisingly lost some gunfights to Louis. And then just every other member of Gnomes was able to collapse on and exploit those gunfights perfectly. Really well played from Gnomes there. We're gonna go 3-2. Let's see if Gnomes is able to tie up this first half before we go into the third quarter.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, as you kind of get into this Praetorian Paladin, as the map is so called, we're looking at this now, in my opinion, through a more lens of, all right, Nemesis lost the previous two rounds, and we always know that the slow starts. Nemesis have always notoriously had slow starts. And so we're wondering to see if, all right, if Gnomes can kind of abuse that, if they can start to rack up rounds and make this, if at least not take this game, but make it way more competitive, seeing if they can get Nemesis ahead. That might not be likely though, as this plan is pretty much based on this lockers play, push through lockers and see the kind of the double bulb go out. And I'm wondering how is Gnomes going to attack this Nemesis defense?
Well, I'm surprised to see that they don't actually want to do the double charge. So if I remember correctly, they have the double charge. They have the two doors. Um, Talking about Nemesis defense, though, we have two much more aggressive barbs and lockers. Not so reliant on the wall bangs from kitchen, more so on the office wall bangs. But club definitely the easiest thing to take here, and they are actually looking ready for it. As we see Death there play at least spawning close in club with that barb. Probably going to try and do the illustrious Flogel barb if he's able to pull it off once that thing blows. We see Brandwan using the KRM, the big boy KR. We see Mace with the auto shotty and lockers. Plebdo able to save the mop. Will he be able to find some kills this time?
And that's what we're asking here. Is we see that Death does hear it, and he is able to throw the barb out and not take
He
any
misses it.
damage. Oh, he misses it? Oh, he put it too early.
Ooh.
That might be a bit rough. As you see the charge card and lockers, there is that sort of early kind of seeing each other, but the kill on Nog makes this way different. That early kill on Nog changes the turn completely. And that second kill from Plepto. And then you see Brandon getting Index, making this game way almost impossible. And Mace gets one with the auto shotty, closing
Yeah.
this round out. And turning to see a kind of rough and tumbly first few seconds into a surefire victory for Nemesis.
That wasn't really rough and tumbly. I mean, Plebdo with the huge double kill with that mob. And then Brandwan confirms KRM better than Saber, man. That's can't argue with that fact.
That's a ballsy peak.
I mean, that's just old fashioned Nemesis right there. Plebdo doing work with that mop. Really probably one of the best pickups Nemesis has had in a long time.
Yeah, and I mean, like looking at the situation right now, we're going into a new set of maps. We may see Nemesis kind of start to wake up, and I think this game might start to kind of close out for the side of Gnomes. So they're going to start capitalizing right now if they want to have that change later down the line.
Yeah, I don't I mean, Nemesis looking like they're going to wake up. We have to remember this is even earlier for them than normal. A lot of those players are West Coast. So Raging Banner is our factory here. Um, this is one of the newer factories. Actually, we do see the pipeworks. We have seen lately, actually, those blue doors onto pipeworks. Those are fairly new. We did see that first introduced in the form of a pre-blown wall charge, but now they've just become holes in the wall, like full on, like you're expected to be on pipeworks, which is a lot of fun to see. Server farm seems like a really strong take. That looks like I think that's what Gnomes is going to want to be taking here, possibly grabbing power. Because of these long angles, you actually shut down so much of the power, and no pun intended, of Nemesis here by taking and getting rid of those lights. We already see that Nemesis is expecting that. They already called out flares at both entrances of server farm on Pipeworks and by dock. I'm expecting to see probably 2 or 3 people playing around Pipeworks and then one on dock conveyors. They do have the barb on green door. I'm assuming much more so for information. If that door gets kicked, it'll give them that barrier of time to be able to react to it. Um, doesn't look like they're going to be contesting the red door in servers at all. I'm going to be letting Gnomes waste their utility in there. And, oh, pardon me, no, it looks like Death is going to be using the Legros in server farm for now, but playing that so far back that hopefully he'll be able to get out of there if any danger does really arise.
Most definitely. I mean, we're looking out, we're seeing this, and we see the fact that this early aggression in the green room from the society is pretty standard as usual, but that could vary punish much as the shot goes out and misses, kind of realizing side that he needs to back off. As he slowly start to go into server farm, slowly start to aggress into this area. But I mean, Death is laser focused on. He knows that if anyone crosses that or blows the door, they might just well say goodbye. As the charge gets blown out, Molotov is being kind of delayed, but rightfully so that early push doesn't happen. He's waiting for the flashes, and he gets the Molotov out almost perfectly, separating a play. But Nog trying to get one, and he is able to get one, killing Brandwan and making this way, like, doing way more damage than I think he had any right to do, but, well played. Shots ringing out, Death kind of pinned in this corner. Louis starts to peek around. He starts to toy with this power, and he does flip it. As power goes out, night vision goggles go on, and we see Nemesis now on the back foot. Shots ring out from Index with the saber, making this person playing kind of far back. But as the flash hits out, we see this early aggression, Death in this corner. We see the turnaround Roadrunner gets one with Louis. Louis being very impactful player. He stretches all the corners. He's making sure that no one's there. Death peeking is trying to see if he can get one, but no. Louis is able to get it. But Maze running back with 2 kills. He's finally injured. And this puts Death in a very tough situation. And he's shut down with nothing to see and nothing to do.
It really
Well played.
really incredible execute there from Gnomes. Can't deny that. Louis again being super impactful with that 2K, and actually just cleaning it up at the end there, grabbing that saber. I think I'm surprised they're not looking for the mop. They know they have it, but I think they're more focused on getting that clocker, which Louis is able to grab at the very end there. Um, really just solid performance there from Nemesis. I don't know what else to say, or pardon me, from Gnomes. I'm so used to talking about Nemesis.
Yeah, honestly, just Nemesis will be fine. But no, this 4-3 coming into the second half, the start of the second half is a bit kind of a change-up. You usually expect to see a 5-1 or like a 5-2, after this round. But wow, this is I'm very impressed and I'm very excited to see what happens next.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, going into Southern Atlas here, our C-Store map, this is a fun one. So what we've seen lately, if we take our attention over to storage, something new on these maps a lot of time are these high windows. So these high windows that you can actually peek out of have become really fun, actually, in my opinion, because what they allow you to do is they really allow you a lot more creative utility use, particularly for taking green. So you don't have to flash through the door. You can actually just set up a flash on storage and have it land in the back where you're really expecting them to be. Um, Beyond that, we have an arcade here that only has 2 DDR machines, so it kind of sucks. Need
Kind
more
of
of those.
trash level arcade.
Yeah, honestly, would never go to
I
that
wonder why does
arcade.
the storage have so many windows? Like, what
I
little
was just
holes?
did I not just explain that to you, my man.
It's
It's for the
just
creative utility usage, and
yeah
also
for the creative
an
utilities, but like in the
open
world.
open concept
Yeah.
natural light is a very primo thing, okay?
Oh,
So,
very
anyway,
natural light of
now
the neon.
we see the storefront. What's great about this storefront is we see a lot more fridge play. This kind of something we've seen map designers talk about occasionally is wanting to make these maps feel real. This deli and fridges kind of makes this feel real. At least me being in New York, that I could expect that from a bodega, even though it's massive for a bodega. I'm actually really excited to see no wall charge taken here. They're going for the red door bathroom, which I like. Gives you easy access to that freezer and out fridges. You get a lot of nice stuff. Brandwan looking a little close there, but it seems like Nemesis might be prepared for some shenanigans here, but they are definitely expecting the wall charge.
Almost definitely. I mean, Nog with the early kind of playing fast. They set that charge and they blow it, and we don't see that first aggression. Waiting for the Molotov, but with the Saber going out and shot shooting and to see if there's no one in those stalls, it's a pretty standard take. As they take bathroom and they start to take and get ready for the rest of the map. With Death having the Molly, and the Molly is thrown, and so they're able to get like, Death, do you not see him? Oh my God! I would say something that happened as Nog is able to take down Death, and then also Mace. But we do see the refrag coming out from Roadrunner, and getting killed by Jet, and now it's just a 2v2, making this now a 1v1. Assign the tough situation, trying to see if he can get any ground. He gets the flash, and he has one facing, making this a lot easier, but that just does not matter as the damage comes out, and we really just see Nemesis, doing what they do best, and that's getting frags and taking these same duels.
When Brandwan grabs a saber, Brandwan Roadrunner wombo combo for the win there, and just really outstanding counterplay there to the Gnomes push. I do want to. I'm actually kind of upset that didn't work because Gnomes being creative there and not using just like, oh, it's a C store. You know what we need to do?
Oh,
We wall
the
charge
wall charge.
storefront. Um, Back in my day, all we used to see was wall charges on storefront. So, I think that's a good example of why we normally see wall charges on storefront. But I gotta say, I think if there is a storefront, not the wall charge, that is it.
Hmm.
Anyway, we're getting into furry Fang here. Um, I didn't think Fangs could be furry.
I don't think that's Fury.
Oh, I got furry on the brain for some reason. Tells you a lot
Uh
about
huh.
me, doesn't it? Um,
Yeah, it should. But
Fury Fang. It's early. It's early. I'm not normally up
it
this early. I
is.
had my coffee.
Uh,
It's that kind of day, and also it doesn't help that the Kildome's going crazy with the fireworks, but pretty standard Kildome map. We've had this one for a while. Yeah, base and
most
jungle.
definitely.
As we see, Nemesis is prepared for that jungle take because the jungle take is really the one we see people do 99% of the time. Um, I'm actually really excited. It seems like Gnomes is talking about, yeah, they're doing the jungle take. They want to take Pit for some reason, probably just to deny that sniper nest right above bomb, which is really a strong contention point. But they're already going to be, in my opinion, neutralizing that with the beach take. And remember, they don't have Saber here. Defenders have the Saber. We're going to see that Saber probably coming out on death, which I'm really excited to see. Um, so I'm expecting probably maybe a 2 Black Tar, 3 AP, or 4 AP, 1 Black Tar. Um, I would not be surprised with 2 Black Tar here, but for what was it looking like an aggressive take, and oh, they've switched it up. They're going obs now. Um, gonna be taking that pit. Gonna be trying and knocking death off of that perch. It's not the technical name for it. But that's what I'm gonna call it. So we do see
Oh,
obs. Looks like they're kind of prepared for it. Oh, Mace looking like he was about to do some hardcore parkour right into the lava and pit.
oh man, I mean, looking at Fury Fang, the observation kind of backing
Furry
off,
thing.
and so we do see Death with that saber taken from the side of Gnomes, and this is
Woo!
definitely gonna have a lot of impact on them. But ooh, already Index is dead. What you doing, Klepto? Using the ignorant in its fullest effect, being such an impactful player. Brandon on this rock, causing damage, and Luigi's checking out, seeing what's going on in that pit situation right there. But as the charge gets blown into this observation, they start to peek around it, and it's not really mattering right now. As oof, the trade kill down on Mace. But Roadrunner mollies himself and makes him back off, and now Sweetie as they see each other. So, oh, jump shotgun? Jump shotgun? Two? Come on, make it. You have one more shot, one more shell. Don't fuck up. Oh, it's on 1 health. This is tough as. Oh, and Roadrunner gets killed after being flashed to hell and back. What is this 3v4 situation? We see 3 players of Gnomes inside the observation. They slowly start to push out into the bomb site, trying to gain a lot of ground. And it may work from them. As we see, Nog start to peek around, pushing these players into this corner, so to say. And they're being in this really tough issue as they throw a flash and smoke. That doesn't matter, as 2 kills come out from the Nemesis side, making this a lot more easy for Nemesis to kind of claim this on. But Louis and Jet are at full health. They have starting to get bomb control and will make the forcing the Nemesis plays kind of on the back foot. This could be very impactful as Louis gets down death and he's at very low health in a 1v2 with against some of the 2 best players of Nemesis, pushing the issue on 5 health. Just push on Plebdo. He gets Plebdo. Plebdo missing all the shots, uncharacteristic of him. And now we could see Brandwan with the KRM, knowing Louis has no time, and it just does not matter as it gets the kill. Nemesis goes up 6-3 on this game.
I mean, that was, talk about an exciting round. Nemesis at least secures the tie, 6-3. Not really surprising, but Death trying to Goomba stop Louis there, and Louis, I mean, I cannot say enough nice things about Louis this game. Louis is really out here performing for Gnomes. Now, going into this next map, Nemesis is hungry. They get their attacker side. This is match point. They are here. They want to win on Raging Banner. They are absolutely 100% ready to take this game 7-3 in
Almost
convincing
definitely.
fashion.
If they're able to take this game 7-3, it really does kind of just push them on the front foot and allows them to do a lot more damage than, I would say, not to the mental, but kind of just to the state of how Gnomes approach the second game. And saying, all right, we got to win. Maybe they take more risky plays. Maybe they start to play a bit more shakily. And I mean, looking at this factory map, this may happen. As Raging Banner, it's going to be I would say, a tough ask for the attackers. But prove me wrong.
I don't think it's going to be a tough ask. Of course, we do see Gnome setting up very aggressively for that pipe works. We already see 2 people watching server farm top entrance, two members on dock. They're going to be blowing that red door, but it looks like possibly they're going to be having 2 people sit outside of dock, which is going to be, in my opinion, a great call here. Going with the double charge, certainly aggressive, but you know what? It's Nemesis, and they are looking to do some fun stuff. I think that might be what we're seeing here. Yeah, we are seeing the double door. They're going to door charge dock, which I think, depending on when they do that, could be huge for them, drawing so much of that attention away from the southern server farm entrance and really forcing Gnomes to have to take those aim battles. And really pushing them off a lot of those angles, because even a door charge there opens up so much of the map that basically the angles you have to watch if you're Nemesis are pretty negligible, because you're expecting to win those gunfights anyway.
I mean, we're looking at this now that we do see Nemesis kind of just moving as one pack, not taking the split pushes. They slowly start to approach this dock so far, and the Nemesis starts to split up as the dock charge goes out, causing a lot of attention shift to the dock play. But right now, it's not seeming to really matter as we see that stalwart Louis getting ready with the auto shotty, playing the server from as the flash goes out and so does the charge. Oh, Louis gets one. He is able to get 2. He's able to get 2, and he's toying with Brandon, using the collision to his advantage and getting 2, making this an even game. Roadrunner is able to kind of even it out with the 1st and 4th kill of the game, but no, Plebdo killing him and making this a 3v2 situation. Nemesis with the power kind of out to their advantage. They're able to use the power, the Jesus smokes, and trying to start to toy around with how Gnomes approach this game. So as the flash rings out, oh, he's fully blinded, nothing able to do, and shots killing him. But they don't see him. Jet gets Roadrunner, and Asai stays alive. Very little ammo, but that doesn't matter as he gets shut down by Plebdo. And Plebdo kind of going on a tear, pushing Jet to his limits. We see the 2v1 pushing Jet back into office, back into an unfavorable position, making them basically almost, I would say, useless as they do start to peek around the corner. They do start to approach on this bomb, brace firing the Igmar in a weird situation, and boom, that is the game for Nemesis. That is the first match for Nemesis, and we will see if Gnomes can respond next time.
Yeah, really. I'm not sure about that shot calling there from Jet. I think I would have just tried to take the fight out window. It would have been the best chance. But you know, I'm not him. 7-3. Nemesis wins. Unsurprising. But definitely Gnomes are showing some good form. They are definitely putting up a good show right now. Um, but overall, unconvincing, unwavering in the face of the Nemesis monster. And quick update on the Depth Global Breakout game. Global Breakout currently 6-1 over Depth. It looks like
Oh,
I have some apologizing to do, to saying that I think Depth could have taken some rounds off them.
guess not. Come on, Dev Marbles, what you doing?
Well, it is what it is. But I mean, I think we're just that's a showcase of two convincing games right there.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, some good stuff.
Good show, jolly good show, as they say. But as we go into it, Simber talking too much as usual. I'm kidding. Love you, Simber.
We're gonna
And
if
we will
Simmer's not
see you.
talking now, we're gonna send
We'll
a
see
break.
you later. We'll send a break.
And welcome back. We are back with game 2 of Nemesis versus Gnomes. Nemesis taking game 1 in a convincing fashion, 7-3.
A
Gnomes
very convincing fashion.
Yeah, Gnomes are looking to change it up. Now, I do have a quick correction to make. Jetford is actually not the sniper on Gnomes. That has recently been changed. I've been notified. It is currently Index. And as we've seen, Index doing a little bit better than Jet probably would have. But now, Donut, I think we have some
Dang.
interesting stats to read, don't we?
So far, we do. We have two players having 13 or more than 10 kills.
Well,
Both of them having
Plebdo,
13.
Plebdo going 13-5.
Plebdo,
Louis going
13.
13-9.
Yeah, and then
Really
it kind
fantastic.
of starts to change up. He's like, ah, they both had really good players. Why did one win and one didn't? When you read the other players on this, you have Brand 1 9 and 5, Roadrunner 8 and 7, Death 6 and 6, and Mace 6 and 7. So pretty respectable, kind of even split. But on the other team, you had 8 and 8 with Asai, Nall going 5 and 10, Jet 3 and 8, and Index 1 and 7. So Gnomes is really gonna have to step up, making it more even focused. Index, Jet really especially having to step up if they want to push Nemesis to the limit, which we did see that they can take some rounds and show off, but this is going to be a tough matchup for Gnomes as
Well,
Nemesis is woken up.
correction.
And
We have seen that Louis can take some rounds, but now
yeah,
getting into
Louis,
Rising
there we
Force,
go. Louis can
get,
take some rounds.
getting into Rising Force here. Gnome starting on the defense side. We're going to see some aggressive plays here from Nemesis. We're actually seeing them wanting to take that red door in club. Really smart plan, but we do see Axie already ready with the molly there. Going to be exciting. Index going with a ballsy play here. Index taking that mop. Round 1. Going office, going for that peek into reception. Um, Hopefully it works out for him. We're going to see that, yes, Nemesis will be swinging out to them. What's great about this plan for Nemesis is everything is very close. They're able to execute on this fast. Reception is a lot closer for them. So basically the timing should really work out. They take reception as the molly comes out in club, able to push a lot of Gnomes off, hopefully from club. We do see Louis going for some ratty plays here, hiding behind that bar, going to be trying to prevent a lot of the angles on him from reception, but they are ready for this club take.
This is definitely going to show up, as we see the charge immediately go out and it's
Ooh,
responded to by the fast Molly and
Plebdo's hit.
literally default. Oh, but Plebdo What you doing there? Being a bit too aggressive, Plebdo. Not realizing it's the match, Plebdo. And he used a lot of ammo, kind of backing off. And we see the kind of default, 2-2-1 of the Gnomes defense. Two in one room, two in the other, and one on near the back, being able to rotate. As shots through the wall start to ring out, we do see the nade kind of breach into this kitchen as Death pushes it and dies immediately. Mace also doing the same. The flash kind of rings someone's bells, but not enough, as Roadrunner uses the flash's advantage, pushes through Jet, and immediately is able to get it, making this, I wouldn't say is even, but way better than it looked a few moments ago, as there is kind of this early aggression and the rotate coming from one of the players into this other side, so they kind of do stack up. The door is kicked, and we slowly start to see it as Roadrunner pushes the KR and immediately gets killed, and Nog is backed off to the flash. He's pushed pawn, and he is now dead. As we see Index with the mop doing nothing, as we see Louis get the kill and getting the round for Gnomes.
Gnomes, a really great play there. I mean, honestly, that shutdown by Index and Axie there in kitchen really bought them so much time. Those two kills, Roadrunner and Plebdo trying to run through, but really just a great switching out of players there from Gnomes. Really solid performance. And Index, that ballsy play paid off. That early damage on Plebdo definitely was a huge knock there to Nemesis being able to do much. Um, Great showing from Gnomes. Fun map. And Nemesis, looking at the next one, we're going into a dome map here, and we're going to see what happens here on Singular Leopard. Um, Very interesting dome map. We have seen this one a little bit. What is so unique about this is where bomb is positioned here. So if we take a look in this jungle, it's actually, yes, it is actually. I'll have to turn on the satellite view for a second. Yes, bomb is up on the jungle ruins, and you have to go through either of those bridges. So obs here is going to be very powerful, particularly for defending that bomb, just because you get so much information from that. What I'm really hoping to see here from Gnomes is playing base a little bit. I do want to see probably one member, two members in base slash pit. We do see a barb going out in the pit red door. Nemesis looking for that power, which is the play here. You need that power because what that does is shuts down obs, and that's really the key. Gnomes, fortunately, moving that barb into a little, really the only place if you're going to barb pit, because you generate a lot more value off there, because not only do you get the red door coverage, but you also get it around that corner in case they don't go red door, they do grab power, and then they want to push you pit. Really great barb there. We do see probably Index going to be holding that beach very deep from that jungle, but we're looking to see actually now an eco play coming out from Nemesis going beach. They're still looking at that power, which for an eco is very doable. Not many angles are able to watch that. You're able to kick pit. I'm not expecting Gnomes to be playing that aggressive. Louis, we do see actually going into pit now. Might be able to stop this single-handedly.
If Louis is able to stop this single-handedly, oh my gosh. That is the definition of putting in the effort, so to say. Looking at this, we do see that Nemesis is kind of just going to beach, taking this eco, seeing what he can do. As the
Both on the
flash
water.
starts to get charged, and boom, we do see that flash and the door kicked out, smokes go out, and Roadrunner running up, using that momentum that the attackers have and dealing damage to the defenders in a side, pushing all the defenders back, putting them on the back foot as the defenders start to prep for this second wave of the attackers pushing in. Louis in base, sitting in the back corner, may go unnoticed as Brandon starts to peek over, see what he can do, see what damage he can get done. And they slowly start to peek around, seeing what's going on. Brandon getting shot, doing damage. Oof. But Roadrunner, he gets get killed, and Roadrunner, with that death, it really does change everything. Now in the 4v5, there's a lot more weapon. Louis goes unchecked, shooting his shots, dealing very little damage, but he's seen right now. Now he's starting to take these head-on fights. Death gets one, making this even. Maze killing Nog, and now Louis finally goes down. It's a 4v2, 4v1. Maze making Index the last player on this gnome side with the mob. in observation, now being pushed by Mace. He gets killed, he gets flashed, and nothing he can do can make this round a not Nemesis round.
Yeah, I mean, right there, Mace was the MVP, using the pressure that smoke immediately pushed up, got through all of the defenses of Gnomes there, able to take out Nog from behind him, and then just, I mean, honestly, picking off players there. Huge 3K there for Mace. Louis not able to do much in that base. Mace is coming home with the big prize, though, taking home that KRM, and Plebdo grabbing one of my favorite guns, the Silenced Gruber. Really solid stuff. Very convincing round there from Nemesis. No other way to put it. You can eco that map, but only if you play it like Nemesis.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we saw that now they gave the KRM to the side of Nemesis, and especially the side of Mace and players like Plebdo as well. That is not a gun you want to give up going into now the final round. This is such a weird and tough ask from the side of Nemesis. You know, we're really looking, well, not from the side of Gnomes, we're really looking at Gnomes to see if they can kind of recapture that first round. You know, being able to get that early chip damage, making Plebdo not play early, heavily aggressive. And this may be a tough ask on the C-Store. Spectre Keyhole. What do you
Yeah,
have
I'm
there?
I'm I'm not expecting that here. Because of the double charge setup that we're going to be having from Nemesis, this is going to be really hard. This is a storefront that you can easily do just with a wall charge. Pretty classic. You have that storefront bomb. Fridges makes it a little more defendable. Um, Fridge is probably one of my favorite things added to our wonderful C store besides the double KK, double, I believe it's KKR machine in lore, but I'm going to keep calling it DDR. The double DDR machine up there in arcade, A plus, not enough, but you know what? For the space that the arcade has, that's fine. Office, great take with that red door. Honestly, didn't if it wasn't last round, I would say save the wall charge here. Just take office because you have such easy access to that tellers, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Actually, we're seeing that red door come out. I'm expecting the wall charge there. They're going to take fast control of that freezer, basically circumventing both of those barbs in storefront. Very smart play. But once they have office, or if they're able to get that control, that window there basically clears the entirety of fridges. They're going to be pushing those people in the arcade, and then once they take teller, it's that's all she wrote. We do see a lot of barbs coming out. I'm expecting a lot here. We do see Index with the knack and Jet with the KR. And then Louis, of course, with that auto shotty playing office alone. A little close to that door though.
Almost definitely in this auto shotty. Lee may be out. I would say some concussion on the charge going out if it does, but it doesn't seem like, oh, it happens. Literally backing off the perfect time. The Molotov go is ready. The first Molotov goes out, and Louis with the auto shotgun, seeing if he can hold this office by himself as two players start to stack up, but that doesn't matter. So wall charge hits out, putting the pressure on the freezer player and Mace, killing the early freezer player, and Roadrunner swinging in the corner, killing Louis and killing that auto shot and taking it out of the round. But Roadrunner inside the tellers, making a lot of pressure on the no side. That doesn't matter. As Plebdo gets index and Plebdo gets a second, pushing Chet into a 1v5, making Nemesis have so much slight pressure and so much general pressure, but that pressure fully just collapses on Jet and makes this round a
Well,
Nemesis.
I mean, Jet was a little confused there. Went storage. Not really sure why he's in storage. Leaves his team to dry there in arcade, but I mean that's just a strong start there from Nemesis. They're doing their thing, and like you said, Mace with that KRM, insane. Brandon doing a little dance there, looking for his teammate, but they're finally going to go defuse. Um, and as we see, Roadrunner versus Louis, Auto Shotty is subpar compared to the DL one in the hands of Nemesis. We're starting this first quarter off 2-1. We're going to switch sides now, and we're going to get to see Nemesis try and hold their own on these defenses. I'm expecting to see it, but Gnomes, as we saw last game, looked pretty good on attack. Actually, I mean, I say pretty good, but very, very solid on those attacking sides. Um, this is where they have to make it. They won the one defense round. If they get this 6 in a row attack, and win every one, that's game in a very convincing fashion. But going back to this kill house, rising force. I can't wait to see what Nemesis is going to do here.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be very interesting. So Nemesis is able to play this defense well, but also how Gnomes is able to attack this Nemesis defense. We're looking now that Nemesis kind of woken up. You know, they did throw away that, I would say, first round, but that was also due to some pretty spectacular defense from the side of Gnomes. And if Nemesis are going to be able to defend this from this Gnomes push, from Louis specifically, I'm really wondering how they're going to, what are the win conditions coming to this map? How would Gnomes able to kind of use the fact that Louis is playing some of the best games of his life out there and how to defend this kill as of rising force?
Well, win condition here is basically um, make them waste their flashbangs, much like Gnomes did the first time. That Nemesis can be very good at that. But what really happened, in my opinion, is in kitchen there was so much wasted utility that it by the time they got in the kitchen, the opponents weren't flashed, and it just they won those gunfights easily. We do see they are kind of expecting that kitchen side push. Nemesis setting up two barbs. They are looking for those early peaks, but we do see Gnomes are very much ready for that index, bringing the saber, calling out both of the positions. But by using that double reception peak, you kind of give yourself some insurance that, yeah, even if the first guy dies but gets some damage, you're going to hopefully pick up a trade there. Very smart play, very aggressive play. Um, I don't know if they're going to be following through with that. We do see the barb coming down club. I mean, that's a must barb basically. We do see Death with the KR. Brandon taking the Legros. Love to see it. Those wall bangs with that Legros are going to be so powerful because of the penetration. Shooting through two walls, you're still going to be doing full damage on Kill House with that Legros.
Almost definitely. I mean, we're looking at it now that the setup goes through. The charge is used in breach, forcing this kind of club to kind of be changed up, but that doesn't matter as we do see the office play now start to being a bit backed off from the side of Nemesis. As the Molly goes out, the barb is ready to be placed, and it is pushing this, I would say, this red door into a pretty tough spot as Index gets
One.
Brand 1, taking out a pretty heavily impactful player in that Brand 1 anchor. Now we see the players start to go from the side of Gnomes. Oof, Death getting killed. And right now it's a very tough situation for Nemesis. The 3v5, the office being pushed, the office now being kind of taking fights, and that doesn't matter as the kill goes out. Plebdo with the mop is going to have to do a lot of damage if he's able to get anything done. This mop at close range does not do a lot, but I mean, Plebdo, kind of the exception. He gets the tag, he backs off, taking up the pistol. He kind of peeks his angle as the flash and nade goes in. We do see shots moving to the door. And boom, that's one kill, that's two. And Gnomes get this round, making it even, going to 2 and 2.
Very solid round there. I again the peak there didn't really work out for them just because it's kind of such an obvious peak. Index getting that opening kill on Brand 1 very strong. Um, really solid showing there from Gnomes. Plebdo just not able to find any kills. Did end up tagging Louis and Nog respectively. But not able to find those kills. We do see Louis grabbing that mop and Nog grabbing that KR from Death, which has basically three full mags. So really solid execute there. Kind of disappointing from Nemesis. I just don't think they collapsed as hard as they should have. And maybe feeling a little disappointed there because their barbs actually seem to really step on their own toes. They took 4 barbs on that map, and as we saw at the very end, they were circling those barbs because those 3 in kitchen and the one on stage didn't end up actually doing anything for them. And just that allowed Gnomes to exploit that and really rush down Office. But new map, new time. We're going into our dome map. We're back to Singular Leopard. Very interesting one. Can't wait to see what's going to happen here. Now, the difference is Gnomes do have the charge option here because they did win that attack round on Kill House. We do see Nemesis very wary of that jungle red door. That jungle red door very strong, just because that's easy access to site. I mean, you're just there. Already looking
Mm-hmm.
at that long angle, you have to take that fight, particularly if you're Nemesis, but you have to be worried about the Gnomes having that mop because you know you lost it. Plebdo took it. They probably have 2 or 3 bullets at least to have brought it. So, particularly knowing this is the map, that's definitely a gun you want to take. Nog is circling that jungle door. I'm expecting that to come out. I'm expecting a beach jungle push. Um, that altogether is just an insane amount of power.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at Gnomes drawing somewhere on the map. But I mean, if we're looking at this play from the side of Gnomes, if they're going to take this jungle piece, it really just shortens this distance to bomb, which makes it a really good play, but it also allows the shortened distance, allows for kind of the defenders to be caught off guard, for flashes to be used a lot better, for kind of the rolling tide of the attackers to benefit them. And so if they do kind of split beach, split jungle, I think that actually might be a mistake. I mean, looking at it, if we want to see a beach play, we should see a beach play. If we want to see a jungle play, we should see a jungle play.
Well,
So,
I think that's why you're not a DPL player, Donut. I strongly disagree with you. I think taking that jungle is probably the best
really?
play with the charge. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
yes,
you
it is
take jungle and you
expected.
just bum through it.
Well, yeah, but you said you take a beach play, you take a beach play. We're gonna see those long angles come out because we do see because they're expecting that jungle play. We do see the auto shotty coming out here, not being saved for C store. Some aggressive plays coming out from Nemesis. They're definitely ready for something. Jungle door goes off.
Jungle goes off as we see shots kind of ring out.
Index
Index
takes a
taking
lot of
early
damage.
damage. Goes from 150 to 82. That makes it a bit more tough ask. As Roadrunner starts to just take these pot shots, and he does get hit a little bit, but he's also trading this early chip damage to the attackers. Louis is instantly killed by Plebdo, pushing him by himself with another player. And I mean, this smoke kind of doesn't do a lot, as it isn't capitalized up off of. But this jungle, as it kind of gnomes, kind of just sit back. They use a flash and beach, doesn't do much. And you can kind of see how jungle's waiting for this beach players to peek around as we see these early shots ring out. And oof, this early interaction, seeing if they can even up this round a lot better. But it's a bit more tough ask. Index peeking around with the saber, seeing if he can catch someone lacking. And right now, Jet throws the flash, and they're getting ready as Nog Jet rush in as they're trying to do as much damage as they can. Ooh, one gets down. Jet is able to trade onto Mace, but that doesn't matter as Roadrunner kills Jet, making the beach players left. But with Asai getting that of Roadrunner, this makes it a lot more even. He is alone in this 1v2 situation, not on bottom site, very little utility to ask of. And he does see a player to his right, but he doesn't notice it. Oh no. And
Yeah,
that
really,
ends up with Brandon getting the kill and Nemesis getting the round.
yeah, really strong plays there. And I mean, that just goes to show Nemesis aggression works, particularly if you're behind, but you have to be Nemesis. Really strong plays. Brandon grabbing that auto shotty and going into this next C-Store map. I'm surprised Index wasn't able to get a trade there. He took a lot of damage early and actually didn't trade any back to the defenders. Um, but sometimes I personally loathe using the saber. I cannot make that gun work for the life of me because I'll be shooting away, and I won't hit anything. Um, so I can understand. I can definitely understand. But now we're getting on the Spectre keyhole here. I'm going to be expecting kind of a similar style of defense. I'm going to be expecting something very aggressive coming out from Nemesis. I like the office barb there because what you're really doing is denying the peak space around that window. You want to be playing that as we see Brandon talking about that. But this is a pretty standard C-Store map. Not sure what else to talk about with it. We do see again those high windows and storage. Power is in bathroom for some reason, which just seems kind of inconvenient overall. Like I don't know who puts a circuit breaker in a bathroom.
Circuit breaker. Imagine like you go into the bathroom, you're washing your hands, and and you accidentally just touch the breaker and it shocks everything and you die of electrocution.
Well, not
That
even
would
that.
not be
I
good.
would just be scared
Because
of
there's no
going.
safety codes.
Yeah, going into bathroom, just late on a Friday night, had a little too many adult drinks, and just you turn it off by accident, and then you don't know how to get out because it's pitch black. Anyway, we're seeing actually a really interesting play coming out here from Gnomes, going for, of course, the wall charge on C store, but not wall charging storefront. They're going to go storage. They're going to wall charge out from fridges. I like that play. Gets them easy access to bomb. Might actually not play in a Nemesis here. Depending on what they're doing. Actually, it looks like it might now that they're getting set up. They are looking at that bathroom. Power looks very tasty to them. But Death might be able to shut that down as he sets up in bathroom. Never mind, he's going back. Man, no one wants to do what I have to suggest here. They're just gonna be giving
Man,
that up.
this
But
is
C store,
great job, Zombie.
hey, C store, you don't really need power. You don't really need MVGs. It's rather bright, particularly that freezer.
Oh, definitely. And we do see their early just aggression, trying if they can take this ground, but I mean, we don't. Oh, the
Oh,
immediate
the trade.
contact play ends with a trade. Death getting Nog and Nog getting Death, making this a lot more even as the power goes out. And we see this kind of restructuring from the Nemesis defense, playing around these flows, playing around these kind of cross angles. Roadrunner holding this angle, taking some pot shots. The door is kicked, shotgun kicked open, and the flash goes out, and the aggression through the barbed wire pushes Roadrunner outside of that arcade. Oof, Index getting one onto a Roadrunner, making his life just a waste as damage from the gnome starts to mount up. The aggression and just ground gained from the gnome starts to mount up as they start to push out into the bomb room. We do see they know that they're Intellos. Oh, the door is open and that doesn't matter as Mace gets one, but he is traded. Now it's a 2v2. Makes this a lot more easier for the gnome side, but that doesn't matter as a side gets killed. Index is in a 1v1 situation. Very little ammo in his gun. He starts to scrounge around seeing what he can pick up. The wall charge still hasn't been used. He may just want to pick it up and go. Index kind of wondering what to do. He is taking shots, but that does not matter as boom. It is the last round of this half, and Plebdo kills Index, making it this game much in the hands of Nemesis.
Yeah, I mean, Mace there with that amazing play. I'm shocked. I thought Gnome saw him, but they still allowed him to run out and get that double kill, which absolutely changed the tide there. And then I believe it was Brand One getting that kill, turning it into a 2v1. Just, I mean, stellar play there from Nemesis.
This is definitely really a weird, so to say, kind of situation, I would say, for the side of Gnomes. Gnomes are in this thing where they're like, all right, they need to kind of restructure how they're playing. They're playing well, they're getting rounds well, but it's not working out for them. When they play, like they're just taking these fights to, I would say, individually, pound for pound, stronger players, and they need to be kind of taking these fully kind of clumped, fights, seeing what they can do, playing off each other, using utility effectively, and they're not doing that. And so, Zombie, I really want to see if you can. I really want to ask you, for a little small brain like me, if Gnomes can kind of rechange how they're approaching this game and change up if they can take this map, Valhalla Freedom.
I think the only thing that Gnomes can do here I don't necessarily think it's a change in approach to how they're playing. I think it's a change in approach of how they are setting up. I don't see a lot of double play coming up from them, and in my opinion, you need double play in terms of you really just need two people together at all times because 9 times out of 10 you're not going to win those gunfights against Nemesis. Um, and that's just how it is. You need to have someone there to trade off of that. But anyway, speaking of that, we're going into Valhalla Freedom here. Great factory map, one of my favorites because I love this Toxic Goo walkway. Um, this is a very strong map. You can do a lot of interesting things here as a defender just because that bomb diffuses towards the north side. I personally don't like playing Dock just because I don't think it gives you really any value because they can just get in your face and start diffusing and hold you in Dock. And as we see, Nemesis is not doing that. We do see Plebdo bringing out the mop. Early peak angle that Gnomes have already called out. And if we take that as an indication of anything, that means that they might actually get the starting kill here off on Plebdo. Going to be an aim battle. We do see 3 members in office. Love to see it. KRM Road on Brand One and Roadrunner with the Ingmar. That's a power combo if I've ever seen one.
And I mean, we do see this, maybe the sniper battle that might come up from Plebdo and Index in this door, but no, as they slowly start to crush to the night, Plebdo watching this green door like a hawk, seeing if, oh, there's a door open, so he waits to see if anything starts to peek around to see if he can get his claws, anything. Boom! Index kills Plebdo. Oh no. Now the sniper goes down and the mop is alone as the charge goes out. Death peeking around these corners, peeking around these angles, takes damage and runs away with his tail between his legs. As Gnome starts to gain the ground, as Gnome start to see if they can get power, forcing Nemesis into a 4v5 that's unfavorable. But Roadrunner killing Jet, making this a bit more favorably, but power does go out, pushing Nemesis onto the back foot, and with Index having the Saber, and with Gnomes having these NVGs, this could definitely change how this round goes up. Index slowly starts to become the corner. Louis gets Mace. Ooh, he's pushing this impact and pushing the Nemesis players onto the back foot. As we do see Index slowly start to run around, see what he can get done as they start to try and see if they can grab this flare to get rid of it. Louis gets another one. He's just picking off these players in the office, but Death, he peeks at one, he gets knocked. Sing taking this fight with Index using the KO. Roadrunner also taking fight with two players near the top, near these offices. He sees them, he's distinguished them. Oh, gets one without being seen. He sees who a one it is and he takes these shots, making this a 1v1. Igmar versus Saber in the dark. They both know who each other are. They have to know who each other is. Roadrunner not peeking, waiting for a defuse, waiting, just playing a disciplined game. Index now not sure of where he is. As the shots ring out, Index realizes that Roadrunner is in this office. He starts to tap bombs, starts to peek around. Index, as he slowly gets in, Roadrunner takes the shots, switching to the pistol, playing a bit more up, playing a bit more aggressively, taking this fight, running through the thing. Boom! The bomb goes out, the Saber is lost, and Roadrunner wins that round, playing strong, playing off the timer. Wow, what a good round from the side of Nemesis.
Index had to make a call there, either defuse or try and run and save the Saber. He makes the call to save the Saber and then loses the Saber anyway because Roadrunner says, you know what, this is my round. Even if I die, can at least deny some of those weapons. And that he does. What a great play there from Roadrunner. Now, moving on, we're going into Kill House next. 5-2 Nemesis. Nemesis looking strong as always. Exile Attila is our Kill House. Now, pretty standard Kill House. Backstage is a strong take here, just because, yes, there can be barbs on that club, but you frag that out, you flash over, and even then you can just flash through those club barbs. We do see Nemesis already expecting that, putting that barb on backstage. Gnomes here, not sure what they're going to be doing. Red door access is actually very nice here on either end, really. Kitchen gets you fast to club, and backstage gets you fast to backstage and office. We do see some map terraforming going on because once that button is open, Vault will close down on that lockers and then make this so much more difficult to take. Personally, I think you know, Gnomes can definitely do it. This is a map where their aggression will pay off if applied correctly. Personally, I think they should, if they're going to do it, if they're going to go the backstage route, they need to take backstage, send 2 reception, clear out lockers and office, because that will protect their backstage people from a lot of wall bangs, because office will just be so strong for that. Because of how backstage is, you can actually be safe from a lot of wall bangs by hiding in the external wall corner there on the northwest side. Nemesis, I'm expecting probably a little more of a interesting play. I think we are going to see that backstage push because we do see 2 flashes marked out. We see Roadrunner and Brandwan coming out in club. Great stuff. Plebdo with the KRM this time. That is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Looks like he's going to be playing over by Locker's office, sort of a strong flex pick, as well as with Mace with that tub. Get into the round here. We're going to see Louis on that DL. We're going to see DL 4 AP. Love to see it on this kill house. They need that kind of aggression here.
Yeah, no, with this aggression needs to be paying off as we do see this charge kind of go out, but also this green door push from 4 players of Gnomes. I think they're just waiting to see if this charge can do some like later damage to see if they can get off, but Louis using the shotgun to its fullest advantage, getting these doors open, making it the push a lot more easier. As Death just starts shooting with the carrot through the wall bang. He does get tagged as he runs away. He might just die, but no, he gets out of there safely with some asterisks that are taking around 65 points of health. As Louis starts to get ready to take the shotgun doors open. Jet gets one, and then Molly goes out, delaying this push. Oh, he uses the charge, and he kills no one, as Brandon is able to completely shut down that push, knowing now the fact that with now the Nemesis player in the south of the map, that Nemesis kind of now can pinpoint the location, or at least the general location of the Gnomes players, and it pays dividends as Roadrunner is able to kill Nog, pushing this into a 4v3 for Nemesis. And as an attacker, you don't want to see that. We do see some action in the south side of the map, one in reception, one in the back stage. As flashes go out from the center Index, but that does not matter as Mace kills Index. Jet is in kitchen, seeing what he can salvage. They run into this point, but Louis getting one, seeing if he can get the person behind bar. But Jet is so low health, has one flash to his name, low health with the game. He gets pushed by Roadrunner, and Roadrunner just peeks him, gets the kill, and runs off. Ah, dang. This is a tough ass as Nemesis go up to match point 6-2.
Yeah, 6-2 Nemesis looking, unstoppable at this point. Really strong hold. Nothing else to say there. They played that right. Made them waste a lot of utility, actually, as we saw in that kitchen take. They had to use at least 1 or 2 flashes to take that kitchen when no one was in there. Really solid play there from Death, and not much else to say.
Yeah, this is just, as many people say, that round was kind of, I don't want to say stopped from the wood go, but after those first, I think after Brandon got those kills and we didn't see that aggression that was needed in that kitchen, it was over. And I mean, going to this last round, hopefully not the last round, but going to what could be the last round. We're looking at Gnomes to see what they can kind of shift up, what
okay.
they can.
Look, fuck the game.
Oh my god, fuck yeah!
Arrow Timber. This is the map. Now, I need to point out to everyone. I need you just to look at the map for a second. I need you to look at it and stare into the literal eyes of the map. Look in jungle. That's a face. So we see Index already drawing us some tears there. Great stuff. Got the eyes. Got the eyebrows. Got the mustache. And the mouth. This is a jester. On his beard. Then look at the hat. You got the hat here. It's floppy. It's a jester hat. It's amazing. Favorite map in the game.
Best map in the game recently.
I'll be honest, it's kind of annoying to play. Just because
Why
Jungle
is
Take.
that?
Well, Jungle Take gets you nothing because you have to run through all this water and through so many angles just to get up that ramp. So not great. Beach Take is really the strongest thing here. You can couple that with a pit for whatever reason you may want to. But yeah, Gnomes here, I think doing the best play. You take Beach. Sometimes wall charging out of obs is fun. But yeah, you just take Beach, and they have nothing else here, which works out for the eco. But as we see, Brand 1, Roadrunner has a nade. They lost a nade. They're done for. Roadrunner has a nade. This is it.
Oh no, they're going green to a 2.
This
is not it.
They're done.
This is not it.
3 mollies and a nade.
Having this nade. Is it too early? Does it get 1? Does it get 2? Does it get none?
He hasn't thrown it yet.
Seems to get no one with no. Oh, he hasn't.
He hasn't thrown it yet.
That was a Molotov. Oh, now he starts to throw the nade. Now he pops it over.
Doesn't get anybody though.
No, Index is almost dead. That may just be do the damage, but Index gets killed. We do see that Gnome starts to push onto this beach. We do see that Louis sees what he can do, see if he can crawl this round back to something winnable. But with Louis now low, Jet taking damage, and so does Asai, this may be a very tough ass. His Nemesis have 5 players laser focused on this beach. Louis peeking over, but that does not matter. Jet gets 1 as a consolation prize, but May's killing Louis, their top fragger. Oof, Asai getting Roadrunner looking away. Now, they kind of know that they're in observation, playing these angles, and they do see each other, meet each other, but do they know that Death is sitting right below them. That at any point in time, he can pop out. They do, and Jet gets one. No, he doesn't. Jet dies. But Nog and Asai both killing one. So the whole thing with Jet was just distraction. As you see Asai and Nog making this uneasable. But no, the auto shotgun comes out. The auto shotgun kills two, and the auto shotgun wins this game for Nemesis, putting them into the winner final of the group process of the
Nemesis,
fall
man,
major.
Nemesis. What Nemesis just did there was hold a masterclass on how to crush your casual games. I mean, honestly, running it back over to Global Breakout game real quick. We're getting another 6-1 depth. Where is Farrell? You need Farrell. Global Breakout just absolutely destroying depth right now. And I understand
My predictions, no.
two games back to back. Nemesis crushes Gnomes. Global Breakout crushes depth. Um, it's it is that time of the day, ladies and gentlemen. We're just seeing stomps all around. Now, those stomps are going to be coming back. We're going to see more exciting games coming up. Stick around. We'll be back soon. I am Zombie Bacon. I'll be back. Donut's going away because he needs to sleep.
Goodbye.
But thank you for tuning in and come back for the second round of games later today at 3:30 Eastern.
See you then.